Well, hey, come on in, everybody. Welcome, welcome. You are watching Hypocritic GG, streaming live on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Lou, some call me Cheatspeak, and we're having a nice little night for ourselves tonight. It's been decided because we are going to play ourselves a little of that good old Balatro. Digital card games still count as card games, right? I hope so, because that's what we're going with. So thanks for tuning in. This is going to be good. We're on the road to PAX Unplugged. Everybody, somehow, some way, it's already happening. And we're excited to be here with you. So we're gonna keep it nice and chill and low key tonight. And aside from potentially everyone's favorite dice cam, of course, hold please. Thank you for holding. With perfect timing off the background music as well. You know how this works, exclamation point D20. We'll roll some of these dice out in front of us, and whatever happens, happens. You know, it's got to be that way sometimes. But it's time to play a little Balatro. What do you say? Rhetorical question, because that's exactly what we're doing here tonight. Hope you're up for it. Hope you're here for it. All a nice time ahead, I'm sure. All the usual frivolities still apply, so exclamation point, and then a color will change the color of the lights behind me. There are over like 50 different colors supported. You try the ones you like best. And exclamation point Discord gets you into our Discord community where we talk about things sometimes and post about stuff occasionally, not least of which is all the fun coming up at PAX Unplugged, and especially around some of the Riftbound stuff, which I know is going to be exceedingly popular at the show and is already exceedingly popular with us. We are less than a month away from, well, actually about a month away from the first ever U.S. regional Riftbound tournament in Houston. That's going to be very fun. Lots to look forward to. It's going to be quite the time. So we'll ramble as we go, I'm sure. Let's start with a run here. I'm proud of the fact that with the checkered deck where you have only spades and hearts, we've gone all the way through and beaten it at gold stake difficulty. That I find the checkered deck very, very easy to pilot, given that it is just two suits, so you can just ride a flush all the way home, which is nice. Let's maybe go with one that I haven't mucked around with too much yet. We went as far as a green stake on the red deck, which is one discard every round. Let's start there, maybe. And that'll be a good way to roll with it. We do love an investment. So we're just going to hang out here tonight and watch the camera misbehave. You know, I never understood it. It's hardwired into my laptop right now, so I don't know how it gets confused as often as it does. Continuity camera is not as, it doesn't maintain its continuity as well as Apple might have you believe, is my complaint there, and I'm sticking to it. Vinny's, my pal's back! We are here, Vinny, we are back. Bulat in an angry RE4 zombie voice, which I cannot do, so I'll have to leave that to your imagination. Give me that straight, baby. Cafe Bustelo! That will wire you up. That's what it is, right? The insanely caffeinated, it is Cafe Bustelo. That's a beautiful get, so that's an immediate one. Look at that. For those who don't know, maybe you're new to this, maybe I'm taking your familiarity with Balatro for granted here. Balatro is a roguelike deck game, heavily based off of poker, where you build different poker hands as you play, and scoring them gives you chips, more or less, right here, see? Points on your chips, and that's how you progress through higher and higher point totals and go through all different antes and rounds to end the game. How it's calculated is, we will go through this just to show you. For example, let's try to build a straight here and we get it right off the bat. 10, jack, queen, king, ace, just like that. You can see it's worth 30 chips with a ×4 multiplier to get you up to 600. As you go, you get jokers, modifications to cards, extra little turrets that live behind my head that you can't see, that will help raise these scores ever higher. And playing different poker hands is how you get through a day in the life of the Balatro. So we're gonna do that all together here. Depending on the cards you power up, the jokers you have, you can also power up the level of hand that you have. So you can make straights more powerful, you can make 2 pairs more powerful, you can make full houses, 4 of a kinds, whatever it is. It's exceedingly addictive. If you've never played Balatro before, first of all, you are sorely missing out. And second of all, be careful getting into it, because it will absolutely destroy your free time. You will implode, you will fold in on yourself like a black hole, you will have no life, as is just the rule with this kind of thing. I don't make the rules. It is what it is. So here we've got a full house that's powerful. We're gonna need a slight multiplier, because now I'm gonna get a little bit of a mult boost every time a planet makes its way to me, which is nice. I have to start getting a little more aggressive with our Joker boys pretty soon, and we're gonna get a flush off of this one too. Look at us go. Wowee. How you doing there, chat? Hope to hear that you're doing well and staying warm and or cold, depending on what hemisphere you're in. I guess we had a lot of international viewers who don't have the same season as us here in beautiful northeastern United States. Love when planets collide with me at the card table. Who doesn't, Vinny? Let's be real here. So we are in the midst of our road to PAX Unplugged, and that normally means a lot of tabletop-focused content. Board games, card games, tabletop games of all sorts. Digital card games, I like to think, still count. And part of the challenge with that stuff is always, it's really hard to do tabletop content by yourself. In that, especially the games that we have access to, we just don't have a ton of single-player board game and tabletop games for your enjoyment. So typically that means I got to be playing with someone else, usually Sarah when we're at home here, but if she's not available, or she gets home from work late, or whatever the case is, that's often tough. So we do the best we can to deliver that themed content that we think you're gonna like. Keep it close on the theme. We have been advertising, I don't know that we're actually gonna make it out of this one. We're gonna need some stronger hands here. That 5 would help, but what can I do with you? We're gonna need something almighty coming out of this one. We didn't have enough jokers happening in time. Alas, poor Yorick. Let's see. Yeah, it's not gonna cut it. That's a shame. Having that right at the start would be very nice. Doctor says I should lose weight, but planets are friends. That is the sentence of all time, I'm pretty sure. It's never been said before. It may never be said again. So how's that feel? How unique are you feeling today? Sometimes you get it all in one go, in one hand, and we love when that happens. I'm gonna store that one up for later. See if we can get a joker right off the bat here. That's useful. It's better than nothing. And the context is critical. More than you know. Or maybe not, because you're the one that said it. Ace, 2, 3, 5, 8. I mean, boom, right there. That's plenty. So yeah, that's always the trouble with tabletop content at times. So we do our best, and ideally we will continue to have more for you. The stuff we haven't checked off the list yet. That's such a... It's a weird one, but I'll take it. So we had put kind of 3 teasers out right at the beginning, right? And that was Riftbound. It was some of the Floodgate Games content, and that was Tokyo Highway right off the start. And is this going to cooperate and give me... Yeah, it will. There we go. And Tokyo Highway. All of which basically require someone else to be playing with me. The Floodgate games, we have a couple of. We have Skyrockets, which is like a sand hourglass timing-based game that's sort of based around fireworks. We have Landmarks, which is a sort of like cave exploration game where a leader is sort of guiding players along to write down words that they think will navigate them around a map. It's really, really fun. And I hope we do get to play that on stream before Unplugged. If not, we will play it at Unplugged and bring it, because it is a wonderful, wonderful time. And of course, Tokyo Highway, which is the dexterity-based build-up, you know, roads around obstacles, and don't knock your cars off the little, you know, popsicle sticks that you're building with. It is nerve-wracking as hell and very, very addictive. But again, all of those typically need someone else to play with, either Sarah if I'm home, or Sari and Baloney if we're all in the same place. We may well cross paths in the next couple of weeks, though, so that would be nice. So maybe my pals will all get together before. That's, again, a really awkward pairing, but here we are. Full house with nothing to trigger the fib, so that's okay. So that's kind of where we're at with it. And ideally, we'll be delivering on the goods. And then, of course, you know, we deliver the goods at Unplugged. If you're familiar at all with that, there's Drake's Cove. Hello, nice to see you. We are Baltoing. I'm offering it up and just sort of hoping the digital card games count as card games. So we're going to pass this off as our pseudo tabletop content for the night, and hope you're all along for the ride. That's basically how that's going to work. So apologies in advance, I guess. There's our buddy Crash. It's your boy Crash. It's going good, Drakes. We're just sort of waxing poetic about PAX Unplugged. And we got Vinny here with all the pals. You know, I'm gonna ask this while we're all together, just to discuss. We're gonna have a pretty packed show anyway. I think this Unplugged in particular is going to be, yeah, Vine Sauce. We do love our own resident Vine Sauce. Can't beat it. Truly cannot. Play only one hand. Well, it's going to be a 2-pair with aces and 8s, isn't it? Or 2s. Or 5s. Right? That'll do it. Easily. Oh, easily. Yeah. So let's discuss this. We're going to kind of funnel into 2-pair here. I think that's the goal. You can't see my Hooja Whatsits, but that's okay. Just trust that they're back there. So for Unplugged, it's going to be our biggest one and probably our busiest one that we've done yet. Typically Unplugged for us, of the big 3, we go to PAX East, we go to PAX West, we go to PAX Unplugged. This is usually our chillest one, in that there's the fewest number of interviews that we typically do, and it's more leisurely, casual, and stream focused. So we've traditionally done those show floor tours because it's less complicated and less busy. We do a lot of live streamed gameplay from PAX, and now that we have things like our Rode mics and a lot of ways to make that even easier, that's something I think we'll lean into more. But since Riot will be there, and Riftbound will be such a major focus of our time there, I think, you know, this is going to be a busy one. There are reveals and all sorts of, you know, big pieces of information they're going to be breaking that we're going to be covering and working with them on. There will be a panel that I think the Riftbound team is going to participate in at some point. So that'll be super fun, and we'll probably be in the room for that and covering that, which is good. And I want a 2-pair, and I get one here. So there's going to be quite a bit, if nothing else, of Riftbound stuff to enjoy, which will be great. It will be busy, and the Hooja Whatsits are, they're essential to every story. You can't neglect your Hooja Whatsits, but we do, because we are but human, and to err is human, and we're just lazy folk. What do you want? But yeah, so for Unplugged, you know, there's a few things. So what do you typically like to see from that sort of show is what I'm kind of getting at. The focus is generally, like I said, a little less heavy, a little less kind of pointed. Do you enjoy things like the live show floor walkthroughs? Do you enjoy things like the tabletop developer interviews where we pull a handful of game creators? Because that process is ultimately, you know, a fair bit different than it is designing a video game, right? What sort of stuff out of PAX Unplugged is valuable to you? Again, there's going to be probably a major focus on Riftbound, given that it will be there. We'll be doing sealed tournaments throughout the weekend. Again, working with them and probably, you know, discussing reveals and doing, you know, fun things. So that's always a good time. But aside from that, what do you kind of want from that show? Is it something where you enjoy just sort of hanging out with us on stream, on the show floor, in tabletop free play, just sort of putzing about? Is there anything you wish we would do at a show like Unplugged that we don't typically do? Every time oh, that's a good one. We like that one. So give us some thoughts there if you have any, and we'll happily field them, because otherwise it's going to probably look a lot like what it has in the past, but again, with more of kind of a pointed focus on the Riftbound stuff, because that is a major priority for us and will continue to be. A singing contest. Why? Don't make me embarrass the crew like that. That's not nice. Love me interviews, love me pals, just showing off the floor, love me PAX. I mean, you'll get a lot of the same stuff that we do regardless. So how's the audio sound, by the way? I was tweaking the like mic settings and some of the compressor stuff before we went live. So hopefully it's all coming through okay. Audio is A-okay, thank you. I'm not as deft at doing the audio stuff as Justin and Teresa are. So if you watch the stream yesterday with Teresa doing more Riftbound openings and some League, their stuff just typically sounds better than mine, unless I'm talking directly into the Yeti doing something recorded. That I think sounds pretty good, but that's just kind of how it is. I need playing cards. This doesn't really help me much. The usual stuff is great. Okay, so I mean, part of what we have Wade doing, and I sort of, not put my foot down, but I had opinions on this, where we didn't do, you may have noticed, we didn't do a live show floor walkthrough for PAX West this year, right? I don't think we did. I gotta go back now and look, because I actually don't remember if we did one or not. Playlists. PAX West. Videos. There was no live walkthrough. That was a busy damn show without the live show floor walkthrough. Totally candidly, those show floor walkthroughs are a ton of work. They are a ton of technical setup. They are incredibly fragile as we go along because of how complex they are. And they are typically the most challenging and candidly frustrating thing that we try to do as we go along. So for West, we didn't do it. What I was kicking around was potentially in its place doing something like a pre-recorded, like edited together show floor walkthrough that, you know, I would narrate over. We would get a lot of B-roll of it. We'd sort of put together a quick, like, 3 to 5 minute story of Unplugged and sort of walk you around the various things. And I think with some of what we'll do, probably alongside Riot and, you know, in their space, it might be a good time to roll out something like that. So that may take its place this year. We don't typically have a ton of participation in the live walkthrough either, so we're not fielding a lot of questions. It's hard for us to anyway, because it's hard to monitor chat and walk around at the same time, even somewhere like Unplugged. So it's a pretty healthy stack of jokers up there. So maybe we'll try something like that. Still kicking ideas around, and we have a little over 2 weeks, right? Where's my calendar? Here's my calendar. Yeah, we have about 2.5 weeks before Unplugged. Now, honestly, I'm super excited too, because I love Unplugged so much. Love me shows no matter what, but Unplugged just has such a specific vibe and sense of loose, laid-back fun about it that it's hard to replicate, and it just hits differently than even other PAXs do. And if you've ever been to an Unplugged, or you've kind of felt the vibe from our coverage over time, you kind of know what we're talking about. I really need... That's what I needed. Can I get the played card anyway? It's not helping me much, but here it is. So I love it, and I always look so forward to it. In part because it is so fun, and it is such a unique and special show to go to. Oh, that puts it right over the edge, kind of. Good. But also, since it's in Philly, a lot of my friends, who I don't normally see a ton of, come to Unplugged. So I get to catch up with them, and we get to have fun and cross paths. And most of the time, they just, you know, stake out, you know, a tabletop free play area and just play games that they bring or that they check out all day, all weekend. It is just wall to wall, sit down and play games with people. And that's all you want out of your Unplugged experience sometimes, and that's okay. And that's heavily encouraged. So we, you know, partake in some of that with the streams that we do. One thing I would like to do, they're a little chaotic, they are a little tough to do, but I want to keep leaning into it and finding fun and interesting games to play on stream and on camera. Sometimes that's a little tough because not every board game or card game or tabletop experience translates super well to, you know, on camera work. But we're gonna go all in on this one, I think. Just to do it. We don't need the 8. I'm burning it for no reason, but we wanna have fun. We wanna have a little fun here. We're just stunting. And it didn't break, so there you go. Looks like that is what it's going to take to get us up that far, though. I wonder if we can get a more aggressive set of jokers up here. Although we're accomplishing most of this in one hand, so that's probably fine. So I'm just excited, generally speaking, and it's always a great show. We're always looking forward to it. You know, Sarah will be there for part of it, so I'm sure we'll cross paths with her. And everyone will get to say hi. I think she's just coming Saturday. So it's always great, and we love it. And it's a very nice time. I should have put the 2 down. Good Lord, what is happening in there? Just like that. So it's great. We're very much looking forward to it, and hope you are too. Ooh, this is all the fun run up to that. Then, of course, we walk away. I feel like I spend more, ironically enough, at something like Unplugged than I do East or West or any of these other shows that we go to, just because there's so much cool stuff you want to buy. You don't walk away with, you know, video games from East or West typically. I mean, you'll like wish list them on Steam. Maybe you'll pick up a physical copy of something. But you walk away with so much more physical product at something like Unplugged, I feel like. Multiple board games, dice. It seems like every show I go to now, whether it's East, West, Unplugged, whatever, I end up with another pair of dice from Dispel, and that is getting very expensive. So I think we might have to rethink some of that, but it's so much fun, and we just have the best time. That actually the dice cam that we're using is all stuff that we got at PAX West. So if we come over here, that's all, again, yours for the rolling, exclamation point D20. This set of dice from Dispel that you see the D20 is part of. Whoa, whoa. So shiny. I forget what they're exactly called. Pardon the disgustingly up-close arm there. Cantaloupe Sorbet is what they're called right there. I'm going to reach around the camera this time. They're from Dispel, and this is actually the exact same setup you saw, the Price is Right flourish, at PAX West for the charity live stream, because we got this set of dice there, because they read really well on camera if you look at it. Some of them don't, because they're a little too dark, they don't stand out as much, but the white on yellow like that looks really good, I think. So that's helpful. And this dice tray is from West as well, because I didn't bring one and I had to get one on the day. I bought it like half an hour before I got down to the streaming area. I was like, oh God, I really should have it if we're gonna do the dice cam, and good thing I had it. So thankfully, I don't remember what vendor I got it from. They were Canadian, that I remember, because I had to pay in Canadian dollars. Love me Canadian friends, and that worked out really well. So all of this is from West that you're seeing. Yes, card games, Full Metal is here, yes. I'm cheating a little bit. A digital card game still counts as a card game, and I'm gonna die on that hill tonight, I guess. So we got Balatro for you. Like I was saying, a lot of the tabletop content that we want to do, whether it's Riftbound, whether it's, because I don't have another booster box to open, whether it's Tokyo Highway, whether it's the Floodgate game stuff, whether it's something different entirely, you know, kind of depends on you having other people around to do it with. And like I said, if I'm home and if Sarah's not available or something's going on, then, you know, you kind of have to punt a little bit. So we hopefully will still have a Tokyo Highway stream before Unplugged, and that will get very stressful. And we should have some Floodgate Games content coming your way, maybe Decorum, maybe Landmarks, maybe Skyrockets, maybe some combination of the three. So there will be much more tabletop goodies in the days and weeks to come. Additionally, like I said, we are looking at what is probably going to be our busiest Unplugged to date because of Riot's huge presence with Riftbound and how busy that's going to keep us, between activity at the booth, between participating in tournaments while we're there, between covering the panel, because I think they're going to have a main stage panel for Riftbound covering, you know, there's going to be a ton of breaking news and a lot of, you know, big secrets we're going to get let in on and we'll cover for everybody. So there will be no shortage of stuff coming out of there Riftbound related. So that will keep us very busy by itself. But that's why we were kind of sourcing opinions from everybody, and now that others are trickling in, we'll ask the same question. Oh, we're going deep into debt on this one. Don't do it. Can I squeeze another pair out of here? Yeah, wow, that was a risky click. That's the idea, though. So what else do you kind of want to see? Because, again, it's just going to be more of our usual Unplugged. Maybe not the live show floor walkthrough, but maybe a pre-recorded kind of edited one we will do. Oh, I want it, though. What can I get rid of? That's $2. That's $2. I can just make that. That should give us more mult overall, because that's 22. So that's pretty good. We'll take that. So what else would you want to see? Because, I mean, we'll do our normal developer interviews. We'll do live streamed gameplay from the show floor. I know that, you know, Full Metal and everyone aren't able to make it this year, because that is now a hike from East Coast, Beast Coast. But here we are nonetheless. So you kind of tell us what would wet your whistle there that we do, or maybe we don't do. If you're not familiar, feel free to take a look at the YouTube channel and give us some thoughts on that. Funny that you brought up a YouTube channel. Thanks so much for asking. We are also, as we come to you live tonight, closing in on 1,000 subscribers. Oh my goodness. I think last I checked, we were at something like 980. Which might not sound like much. We're at 982. Fantastic. So that's been going up reasonably quickly, and I don't like to stress and keep poking and begging for subscribers. It's not our vibe. It never really was. But for something like this, it is such a big milestone for what is ultimately a very small channel here. You know, we're really excited to do that. We are still on pace, if all goes well, to hit it. Oh God, do I not have enough to? No, I don't. Let's see if this will get us there. Oh, geez. Should have hit that 3. No, we're good. Barely. Because it is such a significant milestone, we want to celebrate that properly, have a good time with it. So, if you are watching, do consider subscribing to the YouTube in particular. You know, getting over that 100 or 1,000 subscriber threshold would be pretty amazing, considering this is, like we typically say, you know, a spare time endeavor for all of us associated with the channel. This is not our main claim to fame or revenue stream by any means. So just an exciting moment for us potentially. So do keep it in mind. And we will, if we do hit that mark, especially before Unplugged, we'll find some interesting and fun way to celebrate it. So it also kind of gives us, you know, just more kind of clout and recognition across the industry when we go out and do events like this and we're talking to people. The healthier those subscriber numbers look like and the healthier all that engagement stuff looks like, the better it reflects on us, where, you know, bigger and bigger brands tend to give us the time of day and are more generous with their time and their content. So it only serves to help us bring you more cool stuff in the interim there. And we are really skirting the line here. I think we'll hit this. Just barely. Again, probably. Had to burn the... Yeah, maybe. Yep. All right, we really need some upgrades here, and quickly. We're nearing the end, which is good. I really would like a 5th Joker. That would be helpful, but we are not quite there. Well, so we can either get the 2 pair back, which maybe we should. I was going to get another playing card, but maybe that can wait. Let's start with our 2 pair. Right like that. Hang on to this guy. Despite him being a pain in the ass to hold. That's already much more helpful. None of those are going to help, but we'll play it anyway. And we're probably going to lose it, so let's just play it. Not too bad. Fell into that one. So that's all the fun, interesting stuff coming up, chat. We got a lot of cool things coming. It's going to be a fun month full of tabletop board game and card game oriented content before Unplugged. Again, with that Riftbound focus probably at the show proper, as you might expect. And there's a new review coming. I'm deep in the weeds on that one, and I would expect it hopefully in the next week. The script is half written, the gameplay is half recorded. We're getting there. It's, you know, these things take time. So... That'll work. Want a hint for this one? It is... It's not a particularly old game. And it's from a franchise and an IP that we have covered before and reviewed before on the channel already. So that should narrow it down considerably for you. Take a guess. You're free to guess. You'll find out probably in a week's time or so. I do have some fun plans for recording the... Oh, see, I really needed that 2-pair because that's not going to help me here. I do have a couple to play with here, so let's do this. That got me nowhere. That's better. Unfortunately, it's all the steel. I don't know why I would put steel cards on the Fibonacci's, but we're just that smart, you know? Oh, none? Not a single bit of help here. Let's see if we can... We should have played that 3. That probably would have... Well, it wouldn't have really done it. Okay, that was unfortunate. Ran out of juice. Ran out of juice at the end there. That's okay. So if you do have guesses on what that game will be, I'll be curious to field them. I won't tell you if you're right or wrong, but you're free to guess. How are we all doing out there? Chat, staying safe, doing well, I hope. So it's getting cold up here in the northeast U.S., out here in Jersey. Oh, that's a real nice one. So we're bundling up and we're, you know, preheating the car when we leave the house and all the good stuff. How's your weather? we're gonna small talk about the weather around the water cooler. That's where we're at with life here. Oof. That's a bold one. Plus 3 hands, but you lose all discards. Bam. Oh, we're cruising now. Look at this cruise. This cruise ship is undocking, baby. Don't you deny it. Why are you denying it? Maybe we like a good 2-pair. Maybe we just get back on the 2-pair train. Look how flexible that is. Although we're immediately faced with a straight again. So what are you going to do? What are you really going to do about it? We've still got... Oh, no. I was going to say we still got a few more rounds and we're good, but not when our banana gets so rotten we got to throw it away. That's not nice. That seems like a lot of investment you have to account for. We'll just keep stacking up on the 2-pair and see where that gets us. So far, so good. Always those fun early rounds of barely scraping by and trying to make something out of nothing. love that. Let's see. Well, it will contain a pair, so there's no sense in ignoring that fact. I don't know that that's better than what we had. We're still one-shotting all of this, so that's not a concern. It's a good temporary measure, but doesn't help us in the long term. Give me some tarots. Tarot. Yes. I was going to say, when you see the double the money one, we always double the money. Money makes the Balatro world go round in all the best ways. Real and true. This works well since we have an extra discard built into this this deck, so we like that. More tarot. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now. Do we have It's Always Sunny, folks, in the crowd tonight? Because that's, you know, after having gotten hooked on it, as one does, just a complete obsession. All the classic moments. The new season, among the best that they've done in a very, very long time, and some all-time classic moments right up there with the best of the series. Do we have anyone who's well-versed watching tonight in It's Always Sunny? Before I get too far into blabbing about it. Don't want to be going too far off track. People be like, what the frig are you talking about? Give me something. That's fine. For now. I used to live in Philly. All I know about that show is the jobs grow on the job tree. Jobs grow on the job tree. We're jobbies. What more do you actually need to know about it than that? It is just the absolute worst people you can cook up doing the absolute worst things you can imagine, and you just can't look away. It's that slow motion train wreck kind of deal. Why did I do that? So it's amazing, and a little dark sometimes, a little edgy, a little questionable, but that's what we're here for, and it's always a good time. So a very specific kind of humor though in that style, so you do have to kind of vibe with it, if that makes sense. But if you do, oh boy, Oberto. I have a question. How are you so good at fantasy football, Cheatspeak? You're second in the league, and I'm one of the only dingle hoppers to have bested you so far. You know what? Let's dig into this for a second. Fantasy football is, we're gonna get $50 off of just this, so I hope this is enough, because that is a massive, massive payout if we can pull that off. So we fished pretty hard already, and I don't have a ton of replayability here. Oh, I don't like that. No, we might have screwed ourselves. We're not gonna, oh God. Oh, no, no, no. We got greedy. It won't be enough. We don't have discards. Oh, maybe it will. Unlikely. Wow! 80 points above the threshold. That is a massive payday. Look at that. $56. Well, we are back on the train, if nothing else. That was pretty wild. Whew. Balatro got sweaty all of a sudden. Right, fantasy football. It's a cyclical thing. So very much depends on what you're playing, right? So that's the league that Full Metal's talking about that we're in. I've been in for probably, what, 15 years? Maybe since college? I commission it now. I am the commish, and it's all cyclical. So that's one where if you're familiar with fantasy football at all, you draft your players and you build your team based on who's available, and you sort of go through and build it custom every year. But what we do is what's called a keeper league, where you keep players year to year. A certain number of them. You can't keep everybody on the roster. That doesn't make sense. But one per position, max of 5, something like that. So it's very cyclical. So you can get in a position where you're able to keep a lot of good players and float yourself year over year. You could draft even 1 or 2 guys that you put a lot of capital into, and then they're total busts and you're screwed for the year. Or you have one guy go out due to injury and everything just falls apart on you. So it's all very cyclical. And it's so unpredictable too, where one week you're on top of the world and you're pulling 170 points, and then the next you're pulling like 80 because 3 of your guys got hurt. Utterly unpredictable. But that's what makes it fun, When you keep it within reason. Obviously, there's a lot of... What's really trippy about it, too, and now it's a sports discussion, I guess. As you've probably seen, if you watch any of those things, I mean, sports betting is absolutely everywhere now, to an insanely unhealthy degree, and is from like my point of view genuinely concerning. That it's not that deep, and it's not that sort of level of engagement. I think our league was what, a $50 buy-in, Full Metal, right? Something like that. So, you're not losing the shirt off your back. It's just a fun thing to do. But people do fall so far down that rabbit hole of sports betting and gambling that they, can't recover from it. And with how hard that the league and other leagues around, the world are pushing it, it's unfortunate. But it does happen. At any rate, here we are regardless. And just thinking about Unplugged. I'm really excited about it. Chat, Unplugged is gonna be great. And it always is, but it is, like I was saying before, such a unique vibe, and so chill and laid back, and just sort of this really not kind of like innocent kind of fun, but it's so just pure in its way, where you can just go and just nerd out as hard as you want on the tabletop games that you love and have a great time with it. And like a lot of these gaming conventions, you do you, and you're free to do so. And that's so liberating. And it's so much fun. For some reason, the context feels even a little more freeing and fun at Unplugged. Maybe because of the types of games that are there, the people that sort of engage with it. It's just great. That was a big hand. So that's a lot of fun. So we're looking forward to it. And like I said, we're going to have pretty extensive coverage this time around. Again, busier than normal, most likely because of Riot's presence. So we're going to be hanging out at Riftbound a lot. We're going to be covering their panel, I'm sure, because I think they are scheduled to have a panel. Let me, actually, let me take a look at this Riftbound PAX Unplugged panel. I believe yeah, get the inside scoop on Riftbound from Riot Games. This is right on PAX's website. Join game director Dave Guskin, who we have an interview with, an exclusive interview on our YouTube channel if you're watching there. So go watch that with Dave. That's from PAX East in May. At PAX Unplugged, as he walks you through the development process of Riftbound, the new trading card game from Riot Games. Your favorite champions leap off the screen and into your hands. In this TCG inspired by League of Legends, build decks based around League champs old and new, then battle in multiple formats including 1v1 duels, 2v2 team play, and chaotic free-for-alls. All of which is true. And if you've been watching us at all as we've gone here, it's wildly fun. And like I've been saying, it's the sort of thing where I would have fallen into this even if we weren't kind of, you know, getting some of the scoop from Riot and working with them on coverage and sort of content creation anyway. It's a ton of fun. It scratches that TCG itch for me in ways that I was hoping to scratch this year in some capacity, and it's definitely happening. So let's just start with that. Cheat Speak is the commissioner, and when we make Lunar Legends, there's going to be a special commissioner card that's inspired by a Lu-type person commissioning the trading card leaderboard. Go for it. I mean, I will license my likeness for cheap. I think that's fair. This is gnarly. How did I not get more than 1/2 pair out of that entire endeavor? Oh, for God's sake, really? Nothing here. Wow. All right, so Balatro said, fuck off, I guess. Got to start that over too. That's embarrassing, I feel like. Lame, lame, lame. It really didn't serve me up. Should I have, like, discarded differently? It didn't give us a single 2-pair aside from that one we had to burn. Weird. That's just because you're the commissioner of the football and the Dingle Hops. I am the Dingle Hop commissioner. That is true. All right. From Nexus to Decklist. Designing Riftbound Origins, Spirit Forged, and beyond. So I'm going to read that out while we play here. You can kind of get more of an idea of what to expect. Join host Jimmy Wong and game director Dave Guskin as they walk you through the development process of Riftbound, the League of Legends trading card game from Riot Games, freshly launched in English-speaking countries on October 31st. In Riftbound, your favorite champions, we said that already, it's the same thing. 1v1 duels, 2v2 team play, chaotic free-for-alls, 3 or 4 players. In this panel, Dave will show how the team designed a strategic collectible card game that's fun across different playstyles, going over design challenges they tackled and how early community feedback helped shape the game. Be the first to see card reveals from the upcoming Spirit Forged set officially starting preview season and learn you through what you can expect from Riftbound in 2026. And a few other surprises. So they maybe needed a second look at the copy on that one. But there you go. So that will certainly be part of our Friday coverage of the show. That's for true. And I expect we'll be at that panel in some capacity. Aside from, you know, living at the booth otherwise. So that'll be a lot of fun. Are you ready for the Balatro Fortnite crossover? I don't believe that that's real. But I also completely believe that that's real. Are they just going to put the Jokers in as skins? How's that going to work? I can't believe I'm Googling this because I completely believe that it's real. No. Okay. I mean, hook, line, and sinker. The what doesn't have a Fortnite crossover at this point? You can blame a guy for trusting. There you go. Look, there's a Family Guy. Also part of Fortnite. What? I mean, every major like animated show on Fox is there now. King of the Hill's even there. That's what finally got me to change my skin. I've had the same skin in that game for, God, many, 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 many years. Would it maybe have been a decade at this point? The skin that I have it's called what, Drift? It's one of maybe an OG skin. Just the only thing that really got me to change it was Hank Hill. It's got to be done. How could you not? That's good. We want some malts. Let's have some malts coming in here. Doubles your money. We don't have a ton of money to double, so maybe we don't do that. Go in on our big boys. And that should work nicely. Almost got there. Risky, risky. You know what I've been wanting to play too, chat? So probably once either we mix it in alongside the other tabletop stuff or we start it off in December. I really want to play Heavy Rain on stream. I don't know how long a game it is, so I think it's one we could hopefully accomplish in a couple of sittings. I have just been watching so many videos kind of clowning on it and memeing it, certain sections. Donkey's about, you know, him yelling Jason in the mall is particularly stuck in my craw at the moment. So I really want to go in and make like the worst run possible at Heavy Rain. Make every decision wrong, bungle everything we possibly can, and just see what happens. That would be hopefully worth your time. I hope so. Okay. Where are we here? Here we are. I have a toothbrush right in front of my eyeballs. I need another one. I need another one. I found it. So that would be fun. I love Quantic Dreams stuff. I genuinely do. Detroit Become Human was one of my favorite games of that generation. It was one of the things that convinced me to, you know, keep with my PS4 and continue using it after I sort of migrated back to Xbox a few years into that generation. Look at Sari with the resub. Thank you, Sari, for resubbing to our channel. How you doing? We had a Sari sighting yesterday. If you were joined up with us, we had an opening of the Riftbound kind of influencer content creator pack from Riot, which was again very nice of them to provide us with, and some League as well. So that's nice. We're not gonna get there, are we? I don't know. Need a little more oomph behind this. That helped a lot. And that should seal it, okay? Cheese has returned. I told you I was gonna fix the cheese. I told you last night, cheese has been restored to her mighty throne, as should have been the case from the very beginning. So we're not sleeping on that anymore. Important things, chat. This is what matters most here. Cheesy baby reclaiming her throne, and rightfully so. Can I get a pair of anythings? No. I don't even want to play that. You can't even make me play that. This is disgusting. I gotta play the 3, right? No, I really need a 2 pair to trigger that, so we gotta just hope for the best here, and we get one. Okay. So just the 2 pairs, that's much better. So we're gonna do that. This alone may be enough. We don't even have any even rank cards on that, so we don't get any goodies there. All right, that helped a lot. So let's, God damn it. Why is this game the way that it is? Womp. Well, that's gonna happen. All right, so we're gonna give this another go. I can't believe we're just churning on this forever. I can, but I choose not to. All right, we'll be right back in a couple of minutes here with some more Balatro here on the road to PAX Unplugged. Digital card games count as card games, and that's the hill we're dying on today. We will be back in a bit with more for you here on this lovely Tuesday evening as we record this and stream it. You're watching Hypocritic GG, streaming live on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Luce, I'm calling Cheat Speak, and we will be right back with you. Don't go anywhere. Oh, Vinny's like, oh no, my pal's away. Your pal's back. Your pal's not leaving you. Pal's here. Pal is pal time. Welcome back, everybody. You are watching Hypocritic GG, streaming live on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Luce, I'm calling Cheat Speak, and we have returned, as one does, to the party, and it's time for more Balatro. Fun, hope you enjoyed. Did you catch that most of the music is new tonight, too? We refreshed the music library So it's not the same like 6 or 7 tracks over and over again, which is good. So more diversity in the music is always nice. We have a D20 from Full Metal to kick things off on the D20. Slams desk off wall. If you do that every time your pals are back, we gotta have a discussion. Off your Wonderwall, is that right? There's Fort. We got a Fort. How we doing? That's a 10. So that's some dabs. We can certainly give you some dabs. 1 dab. So we'll do that when the camera comes back, and we'll do Forts now. How we doing, Fort? Nice to see ya. We've got, that's a 19. Self-sabotage. Okay. I have a fun way to do that. So let's start from the top here. And let's turn the music back on. Very good. I'm super good for it. We were just waxing poetic about Unplugged and how exciting that's going to be. Single dab. All right, so for self-sabotage here, for this entire round, or ante, I will have to go with no discards. So that's going to be the self-sabotage. No discards. Just got to play it out. See what happens. Look what you've done. No, we're excited. We've got, oh God, this is horrible. And I threw away so many 10s, I'm not gonna find them again. Oh no. Discard or dat card. Buy one, get that one. All right, well, we made it out of that one alive. That's gonna handicap us on money, but that's gonna have to be okay because we're self-sabotaged. So Fort, while you're here, we've been asking folks tonight, you know, Unplugged is coming up. It's gonna be one of our busiest ones. Ooh. That might be helpful. Let's start with that one. Okay. We have a 4 of a kind to start. That might be enough to dig us out of this entirely. But yeah, with Unplugged coming up, we have, it's going to be our busiest yet with Riot being there and Earthbound being such a heavy focus of ours. So we'll be attending their main panel probably in some capacity at 3 o'clock on Friday. We will, I'm sure, be at the booth. I'm sure we'll be catching up with folks and exploring all the announcements and digging into, you know, what's coming up in Spirit Forge, because spoiler season's coming up and all that kind of fun stuff. So it'll be busy, and then we'll have our usual litany of streams, I'm sure, from, you know, tabletop free play and all the good stuff that comes along with that. We're just sort of asking what other things you would kind of want us to see or do or cover while we're there, because, you know, we typically go at these a certain way and the coverage is what it is, but there's always wiggle room to kind of explore what other people are looking for. So let's try to get, that's good. So if you have thoughts, the one thing that we were kind of, oh God, that didn't help at all. What the hell was that? Oh God, can we get a flush out of this? Yeah, we can. We were thoroughly sabotaged. Yikes. We're out of disc. At least we're getting another straight. Okay. Maybe we'll be okay here. Yeah, so I mean, the one thing we probably won't do is that live show floor walkthrough, because like we were saying, those are exceedingly complex to do. Typically not a ton of in-the-moment engagement from people. Holy shit. I can't afford it. Oh no. That sabotage really screwed us. That would have been fun. I can't get anything out of this. Oh, Jesus. Is this over? It's over before it began? It might be. I don't have the money to do this. Play only one hand. don't know what hand I'm even going for. 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, on the 8s, maybe. Full house, I guess. That's not going to be nearly enough. No. Well, the sabotage will do that to you. Let's give this another go. Kick right off of that. Unplugged isn't my jam, but seeing y'all excited for it is fun. I mean, that's all we can really hope for, because I know we sort of thread the needle a little bit with the tabletop stuff, because it's not our main thrust by any means, but we do like indulging in it. And while typically the unplugged content doesn't do as well as our normal stuff, I don't know that we've really had a breakout kind of piece of content from an unplugged like we do at East or West, because typically we'll have at least one game or one thing we publish from an East or West in a given year just like blow up and be that thing that kind of gives our channel that next level up. You know, at West it was Bubsy 4D and everything around that, and that was clearly the case. At East it was Riftbound, and that review I think is still one of our highest viewed videos on the channel, period. The West before that, it was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind, and the East before that, it was Animal Well. So there's usually some permutation of it that, you know, gets a lot of eyeballs. And it's typically something that, you know, is either niche or kind of underserved or the general public is hungry for in some capacity. So that always helps. 3, 4, 5. Let's do this. But Unplugged hasn't really seen the same level of engagement to date. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And you're right, board games are pretty niche, but if anything would blow up, it would be Riftbound. And Riftbound has done, for its part, very, very well for us. I mean, we routinely see really, really good engagement on the Riftbound stuff. So if you are watching and in that crowd and are here for some of the Riftbound goodies, first of all, thank you. And there's much more coming, so fear not. Let's have a quick look at those numbers, because now I'm kind of curious about it. If I were to go back into the channel stuff, I can tell you about how well it's been doing if we want to calculate or some of these things. So, who's changing lights on me? There, we go to Full Metal. Very nice. Let's see. I would like some mults, please. And since we're under that threshold, I would maybe like another Joker. That might be good. That'll help. Okay, we're just going to claw our way there. And that'll be very nice. All right, so going through some of this, we had just the shorts we even start with. So just for reference, the interview with Dave from PAX East is at like 3,400 views or something like that. It's one of our biggest viewed videos of the year, which is awesome, and we absolutely love that. I want to kind of add up, just for the hell of it, what some of our shorts are looking like for the Riftbound stuff. So let's see. But they are typically pretty niche. I don't know that we've had any significant traction on any of the board game content that we've done at Unplugged. Weirdly, I think one of our most popular videos was the show floor walkthrough one year. It was one of the earlier years that we did it, which is kind of ironic. So I don't know, maybe there is some value in doing that live walkthrough for people. It just kind of depends on when it gets on people's radars. So let's do some math here. The Riftbound shorts to date, we've got 2476, we've got 57,915, all organic traction here too, so we're kind of just taking a look at this. Some obviously do better than others. We've got the Spirit Forged one, which is really going off because people are starting to turn their attention to it. Now that Origins is out, 514, 25249. So what, that's maybe 5 or 6 shorts. Altogether, all of those shorts combined have almost 200,000 views, which is awesome. And again, we're so thankful to everyone who takes time out of their day to engage with it and hopefully enjoy it. Part of what is fun about doing this sort of thing, and it always has been, is spotlighting not just those cool niche indie titles that, you know, aren't on people's radars and should have more exposure anyway, but, you know, those games that even maybe are a little more popular or more mainstream and people are just hungry for more information about. I think there was clearly, and clearly still is, a desire, a need, and a want for Riftbound content and for, you know, platforms for discussion and debate. And we're happy to do that. So that's always really nice. And again, we're really grateful for everyone that engages with that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think across all of the content, we're over probably 180,000 views across all the different mediums, shorts, regular videos, live streams, all of that kind of stuff. For Riftbound alone, which is fantastic. I know shorts views you kind of consider a little differently, but those things, you know, you don't automatically just get 1 million views just for putting a short out there and by virtue of it existing. So that does help. And again, that's off of, oh, let's see. Can I make the calculator a different size? Why can't I resize my calculator app, macOS? That's off of, I think, 6 shorts maybe, and one we just put out hasn't gotten that significant traction yet. It's at like 2,400 views. So, and it's kind of leveling out, so I don't know how much it's really gonna see, but that's okay. Now, see, now I'm just curious. That is 1, that is 2, that is 3, that is 4, 5, 6 shorts. So that's pretty good, and we're proud of that. So we'll happily take it. I don't know what I was talking about there, but yeah, okay, yeah. So no significant kind of home run hits from an Unplugged yet, but I'm sure the Riftbound stuff will contribute to that in a significant way. So keep an eye out, I guess. There will be plenty of that at Unplugged, plus some of the other things as well. So it's just fun. It's almost more fun to just be there. That's a particular instance where, for as much fun as it is to cover the show generally, we get so much enjoyment out of just participating and hanging out and exploring all these games and discovering and doing things. That's obviously the joy of any PAX. So if you've been to a convention like that of any size, or maybe something like Gen Con or MagFest or any of those, that is inherently the joy and the satisfaction you get. Now, if Full Metal's still here, they will, I'm sure, certainly vouch for the Unplugged experience, because she's gone routinely and was also at, you know, a few Easts and Wests herself, some as a content creator herself. So that experience is kind of fundamentally different from just going as a regular attendee. You kind of have to work your way through. They are working shows, and they're long days, and it is very, as I'm sure Full Metal would back me up on. It is not easy. It is not easy work, but it's still very, very fun. Unplugged, for its part, is an easier show generally, in that we're not really producing as much content. It's not as rigid a schedule to keep, because we're sometimes running, you know, 3-4 interviews a day with lengthy demos and sort of, you know, working up conversation and interview topics and all sorts of things around it. So that can often be challenging and result in, again, very long days. You know, sometimes our PAXs are like 12, 15-hour days where, you know, we're We get to the con right when media hour opens, so that's like 9 a.m. We work the entire day, so it's, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. when the show floor closes. We probably do some stuff afterward. We're editing. We're constantly kind of churning stuff out, so they are long weekends. But our favorites, our absolute favorites of the year. It is so much fun and so enjoyable to just be in that environment and vibing and doing your nerd shit and everyone kind of supporting each other and doing it. That's one thing that, I was earmarking about Unplugged before as well, where you are just so free to enjoy it at your own pace and be completely unjudged and indulge it however you see fit. Obviously, that's the MO of any PAX you're going to go to, but with Unplugged especially, if all you want to do is sit down at Tabletop Free Play, bring your own games, hang out with friends, make new friends, and just sit at the same table all weekend and play stuff, it would be the greatest time. And it is the greatest time for so many people who attend. So it's great. And that sense of just purity in fun factor and the freedom that you have to just sort of explore at your own pace and how much more kind of chill the show is wonderful. And if I haven't hyped it up enough by now, if it's ever something you're able to cross paths with, it's a super fun time. Even if you're not super into board games or tabletop stuff, it may well convert you, because that was sort of my thing and my sort of hill I had to get over initially. So I didn't start going to Unplugged until 2022. And a lot of my friends, I think Full Metal included, may have been at the very first one. And when was that? Like 2017, 2018, something like that. And had been going for many years prior to that. And they finally convinced me, hey, you should go to Unplugged. You should just come, hang out, experience it for yourself. And I'm so glad I did, because it's one of my favorite weekends of the year. And it's turned me on to so much more amazing tabletop stuff and creators and all this, this cool piece of the industry that I never would have paid attention to otherwise. And it completely won me over. So you could be in that boat where board games aren't really your thing and it's not something that you spend a lot of time on or a lot of money on. Going to shows like that can very quickly convert you, I've found. So, if you are ever in the Philly area, maybe it's not something where you would put, a ton of time and effort into making a trip out of. But if you happen to be in that kind of general area, even for like a one-day thing, maybe worth keeping on your radar, because it is a lot of fun. And there's my pitch for Unplugged. From a convert, basically, who, again, didn't really have a lot of tabletop interest, didn't pay a lot of attention to it. I say that where throughout college I would, play in people's D&D campaigns. I would run my own. I've DM'd my fair share of campaigns over time that, in my opinion, have seemingly gotten pretty good reviews, and I've been asked to keep doing them, so that's good. I think Full Metal was in some of my campaigns, so she can vouch for how that's all went across time. So it's just a lot of fun is what I'm getting at. That's what I needed here. Especially with the extra large blind here, we got to be really aggressive about going after viable pairs here. But not to the point where we overstep. We have clearly now done. And the game's gonna screw us over yet again. More than likely. blind was too large. Could not accommodate. We gotta win one. I'm a wee bit embarrassed that we haven't had a single win here tonight. Let's see if we can bring it home. Oh, hey, Juan Helldiver. He's playing Helldiver, so who could that be? Kind of like that. I wonder who indeed. Ooh. There we go. Among Us is a mug. Need to come up with a... No, you don't. Don't you dare come up with a new name. Perfect just the way it is. We got a D20 from Vinny. Is that a Kirby there too? We love Kirby. By 2 points we got that one. And we love to see it. All right, let's do that D20. Shake a, shake a, shake a, shake a, shake a. Shaking hand jump scare. Pick a side. All right, so here's how this works. Vinny will serve us up a topic where it's like one or the other, and I have to pick a side on a specific, ideally game-related, this or that. Whether or not I have experience with it, I will have to give some opinion on it anyway and take a side. So, for example, Kefka or Sephiroth, Mario Galaxy 1 or Mario Galaxy 2, which, you know, given 4 games, eliminate like Thanos Snap 2 and only keep 2. So Vinny, lay us up a topic here as we somehow don't get a playing card to deal with here. Let's go for that flush first. Oh, you're devious. That's a cruel one. What is this game's deal? That should do it. I think Halo Unreal Remake is going to be good. Sell it to me. Oh God. Okay. I'm gonna need a drink for this one, and we'll give it a try. Oh, Lord. Okay. I think the Halo CE Unreal Remake is going to be good. Halo has a lot of opportunity here as an IP and as a studio. The intent to not just have a one-for-one remake of Combat Evolved like Combat Evolved Anniversary was, gives them the opportunity to add to the lore and improve upon and augment certain elements of that original game that either were not possible or wasn't something that they had considered doing all those years ago. So there's great opportunity for expansion. There's great ways that they can further enhance that experience with different gameplay mechanics or different, you know, deep dives into the lore with those additional campaign missions. If they're focusing on just Master Chief and Sergeant Johnson, there could be more opportunity for amazing and hitherto unseen moments and cut content and gameplay that fans may ultimately love, that you would never have access to otherwise unless Halo Studios revitalized this sort of stuff. So the potential's there. Exploring all of these environments again with a fresh coat of paint, especially on the PS5 of all things, will also be a great opportunity for players who have never been in the Xbox ecosystem to get their hands on Halo in a meaningful way and derive all kinds of enjoyment out of it that maybe they wouldn't otherwise. It is likely to introduce this to an entirely different generation of players and sect of the gaming industry, you know, non-Xbox players, who may well get a ton of enjoyment out of it and discover something to appreciate about Halo for themselves without necessarily having the baggage or the reference point of Bungie's games or all of 343's, you know, missteps over time. So there is a lot of potential in what they're cooking up. And that is not just facetiously trying to sell it to you. I do think that's true. Where with the right amount of care and love and attention, they really do have the opportunity to do something special with this. And I hope that they're able to fully realize it. Son of a bitch! I can't believe we failed it again. This was supposed to be a nice, calm, regular stream where nothing bad happens. This is the perfect town. And that's not what we're getting. Give me this straight. Or don't. Now you don't know what the hell to do, do you? Isn't the MCC on PlayStation now? I don't think it is. Which is partially why I think they're remaking each game one at a time, so that they don't have to bring it there. The Master Chief Collection is available on Xbox One, Series X and S, Microsoft Windows, GeForce Now, and Xbox Cloud Gaming. This way, now, like Nintendo and Mario Galaxy, they're selling it back to you piecemeal and not giving you the whole thing all at once. Mega bonk. All right, we want this. So what do we have going here? We had one straight. You got my vote for that speech. I'm honestly though, I do genuinely believe that. I think there is a lot of potential here for Halo Studios to open up a new sect of the fandom that didn't exist before, especially off of Xbox. It's not going to... Here's the thing about the remake that I think about. As with any like hyper beloved particular game like this, there's no way to fully bring it back to life necessarily in a way that's going to please everybody. Especially hardcore fans. Like you look at the reaction from someone like the Act Man or Late Night Gaming or Rebs or like Sean Dubs or any of the big Halo-oriented content creators out there. They are going to nitpick everything that the remake tries to do to death. They just are. And no matter what Halo Studios decides to do, any change is going to be somehow hyper-scrutinized and looked upon super negatively by the fan base. And that's the case with everything in this vein. When you have a beloved game that gets remade, not just brought back over to, you know, to another platform, but completely remade for it, you know, even stuff like Combat Evolved Anniversary, where it's the same exact game with just a sheen, a different like coat of paint and sheen on it. People didn't like that sheen. And if it doesn't look exactly like Halo 1, then I'm not playing it. And I understand that impulse, because I kind of get that precious with other IPs, like Sonic Colors Ultimate is a good example, and a lot of the Sonic remakes or things of that nature, where it just doesn't measure up. So, you know, that's a good example, where Sonic Colors Ultimate changes so much of the original Colors experience and not for the better. Yeah, it's a conduit in for different people to experience the game, but it's, I think, a lot worse. So I don't play Sonic Colors Ultimate. I just go back and play OG Colors when I want that experience. And it's kind of that thing where you have to take the same delineation and approach, right? If you are in the mood for and can find something different palatable, if you're in the mood for something different and you can find it palatable, give Campaign Evolved a try. I'm probably gonna buy it, honestly, I am. And while I'm not excited necessarily, I think we talked about Microsoft apathy on another stream recently. I'm just so blah about it Where now Full Metal's got it. I can't wait to play it on my PlayStation, and that's the thing. So I'm really at the point where I just don't want much to do with Xbox as a platform anymore, which is sad considering, you know, it's been 20 plus years of investment into that platform. I would love to play it on PlayStation, and I would love to experience it somewhere else outside of Microsoft's, you know, grubby fingers. And it is heresy. It's complete heresy, but this is the path. This is the sacred path that they have chosen to tread, right? They are kind of tapping out on the consoles business and moving more toward the subscription service third-party publisher model. So a day will come when you can't play Halo on an Xbox console anymore because there are no Xbox consoles. It's a lot. I'm going to draw a lot of Sonic parallels here because we're kind of going the exact same way. Sega did this all these years ago. It was once unthinkable, right? You rewind to the mid to late 90s and how much of a juggernaut powerhouse Sega was in the console industry. Never would you think ever that you would see a Sonic game on anyone else's console, much less Nintendo. Sonic Heroes and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the GameCube basically felt like the end of days to the fan base at that time because it was so radically out of left field and you know, heretic. It was heresy. And yet here we are 20 years later, 20 plus years later. Yeah, is Sonic the forefront of relevancy in the gaming industry? No. Is it ever going to be again? Probably not. Is it healthy and thriving? I mean, obviously it had a bunch of rough patches along the way, much as Halo has had, but is it still kicking because of the love of the fans and Sega's ability to find a different market and business model that kept the company afloat? Yes. And I think that's largely what we're looking at with Halo going forward. Much as we may not like it, and for those who still have some sort of loyalty to Xbox, which I'm not sure why you would at this point, to be totally honest with you, it's that one's a bit of a head scratcher. But I really should be focusing on just one type of hand at this point, right? It's gonna happen. And, you know, for as much as I'm really down on Microsoft as a company and Xbox as a platform and really don't trust Halo Studios currently, they haven't given us a ton of reason to trust them. New name doesn't mean much until the kind of proof's in the pudding, right? I'm still holding out hope. I'm optimistic that they're going to pull something out that is meaningful and worth players' time and money and investment, and we'll go from there. But yeah, it's hard to muster up too much enthusiasm for it, knowing how this sort of thing has gone before. When we talk about those sort of nitpicky things too, I was watching a lot of videos where people are calling out like specific animations being reused from Halo Infinite and, you know, character models and pieces of art and assets clearly coming from past Halo games. And that does kind of suck. I understand that. But I have to also imagine that they do not have a ton of resource to be putting this game together with. You think about how comprehensive and destructive those layoffs were across Halo Studios in particular, but Xbox wide because Microsoft is just doing it. I can probably appreciate that there's pretty dramatic limits to what they're going to be able to do this time around. So would it be ideal if we get the animations and a lot of this looking a lot more strictly like Halo 1? Yes, that would be ideal. Is that how it's gonna pan out? Probably not. You know, You're going to have those people who get hyper-specific about what they want and how it should feel and all these minute details you want to pay attention to. Nice. And I respect the hell out of that because I get the exact same way with other franchises that I'm precious about. We've talked about that. Probably should have gone for the flush there, yeah. Still getting some healthy goes at it here. What are the odds that we find a 3? Not good enough for me to take, clearly. That works. I like Xbox because the PS5's UI is garbage. I don't know how much better Xbox's is at this point. A lot of UI seems to just kind of be going backwards and has been for a long time. Look at like Call of Duty or Battlefield or Fortnite or any kind of launcher-based game and everything is just a mess. I was playing Fortnite recently with Justin and Teresa and one of our friends, and it is just such a nightmare to navigate. There's so many menus, there's so many sub-menus, there's so many options for so many things. It is bonkers how cluttered everything feels. And a lot of these other major titles are the same way. Call of Duty, Battlefield. Unfortunately, it looks like Infinite is bringing over, or Campaign Evolved is bringing over a lot of the UI decisions from Infinite, and Infinite was, rightfully criticized for its subpar UI. So I don't know. I really don't know where to direct your outrage there. I need a substantial, I need a 5 or a 10 here. We got it. Nice. Love me UI, love being confused, love playing the game but can't. Isn't that always the way? We fucked this up again. I guess this was just not happening tonight. Alas. What a flop! You shut up. What do you know? All right, well. Nice hanging out with y'all, though. Glad we had a nice little... like the surge protector under here. And if I so much as look at it funny or tap it, then it goes out. When that goes out, audio cut. No, we're good. What happened? How much did you miss? But I think we're good now. Don't throw your door off its hinges, it's better. So what happens is, I don't know how much of that you heard or didn't hear, but where did it go then? Because I was just under the table. That's not cool. Oh no, you know what it was? Let me explain. So all of this runs through one adapter that has power, that has HDMI out. It has a couple USBs for my keyboard and mouse, and it has a USB-C port, which I currently have the microphone plugged into. When I have the MacBook charger, because I stream off the MacBook, I have that powered on like a power strip under the desk, and it is so fragile. If I so much as like tap that box with my foot, the power brick gets dislodged. That cuts power to the adapter, which cuts power to the laptop, which cuts power to the whole thing, which means the Rode mic turns off because it's not getting power anymore, which means everything falls apart. That means that the second monitor goes away that I play on, so that moves everything back to my Mac display, which puts the proportions out of whack. So that all happened because I tapped the box with my foot, and it all fell apart. That is my cue to re-architect that whole thing when we're done here tonight. So I just gave myself a little homework, but that's okay. Big uh-oh. So we'll make that a little more resilient. As a development manager for the most resilient computing platform in the world, I really should be a little better about my resiliency. But anyway, that will probably do it for tonight. So a quick set of programming notes before we take off. We do call that a whoopsie in streaming terms, but that's why we have our lovely standby screens. Learn to control your foot, dang it. Please do. I am a gangly soul who has very, very bad motor control over his limbs. Sarah will tell you how clumsy and sloppy I am and how weirdly I walk and how much of an alien I actually probably am. And my feet are no exception. So they are just, this is probably too much information, but I'm going to tell you anyway. They're kind of like floppy. So, you know, most people, when you like lay down, your feet either like stick up straight or they're sort of like this. My feet completely flop off to the sides when I lay down. So they are just angled like that. And they're so loose that I can kind of like turn them around in like ballerina position, which I might have done on stream once, where I can just have them a complete like 180 degree separate from each other. It's not good. And you know, while stuff like physical therapy for other injuries has helped me have better like hip flexor motor control and all these different things, because I hurt my back in June. We talked about that previously. It's just messy. So the point of all this is I need to reinforce and re-architect that setup down there because it's just a mess, and that shouldn't be able to happen, but we'll get there. All right, so programming notes before we take off for the night. We have, of course, more on the road to PAX Unplugged coming up over the next couple of weeks. If all goes well, we may have more Riftbound content for you. We have Tokyo Highway coming up, the beloved, dexterity game, which is so great for my fine motor skills and very stressful. We all love Tokyo Highway. And then hopefully some stuff from the Floodgate Games catalog as well, potentially Decorum, potentially Landmarks, potentially Skyrockets, any combination of that, and maybe some more stuff. So we shall see. And that's all in the run-up to PAX Unplugged, which is about 2.5 weeks from now. Again, expect a really, really busy show from us this time around. A lot of focus on Riftbound, a lot of working with Riot on covering their main stage panel Friday afternoon, most likely, going through probably some of the Spirit Forged announcements, doing our thing. And it's going to be really, really fun on top of the usual stuff that we would do at Unplugged, probably some form of show floor tour, creator interviews, game designer interviews, and of course, live streams with games from Tabletop Free Play at the show itself. So it'll all be super, super fun. We're looking forward to it. And another review is in the works. As is often the case, we'll hopefully have it done for you next week. No specific hints other than it's not the oldest game in the world. So it's come out probably within the last 15 to 20 years. And it is an IP and a franchise that we have covered before on the channel. So if you go back and look through our releases, that will hopefully orient you a little bit and give you some ideas. That's all you're getting, though. Thanks so much for tuning in. This has been our digital card game Balatro, part of, maybe it could be Gex. Maybe we're doing Gex 2. Maybe we're doing Gex 2 and 3, like a double header. Who's to say? Guess you'll have to find out. Hopefully, again, by this time next week, hopefully we'll have a fresh review for you. Thanks so much for tuning in to our digital card game on our road to PAX Unplugged Balatro. This is Hypocritic GG, streaming live on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Lou, some call me Cheat speaking. Thank you so much for hanging out. One last plead for you. We hate doing it, but we are, as we record this and stream it, dangerously close to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're at 982 currently. So if you could be so kind as to potentially subscribe, if you're not already, at least consider it. Tell your friends. Gather some headway. We are hopefully on pace to cross that threshold before PAX Unplugged, and we're going to find a way to celebrate that in a big way, if so, because while it may not seem like much for a small channel like ours that is thoroughly a spare time endeavor, a labor of love, and a money pit for all of us, it's a big deal. And, you know, has been grown completely from scratch with, you know, entirely organic kind of engagements in the ways that we've done it. So again, while it's always been kind of a spare time endeavor for us and never has been anyone's kind of full-time focus, hitting that kind of milestone at all is a big deal. So we appreciate the support there. So do consider throwing that extra subby scrubby our way if you haven't already. And if you already have, we so appreciate you. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Stay fresh, cheese bags. We'll catch you back here real soon.